How do we know this? Has Matiang'i made any foray into Mount Kenya?
No, actually he hasn't.
Even Kabete, Apa.
But he's going to Meru, eh? He went to Meru, he went to Thika with Gathoni. He's been. And why I also say that is, when you think about the reason Matiang'i is a discomfort, not Kalonzo. Kalonzo has been a former vice president. You'd imagine that the person Gachagua would be most uncomfortable with would be somebody like Kalonzo Musyoka, who's been around politics for a long time. Matiang'i has never even run for office. But see, that's what makes him very dangerous. Matiang'i is known as an Uhuru person. So this, as much as we keep saying Uhuru has retired, he now is like Matiang'i is Uhuru's political son.
When people say Matiang'i, they see Uhuru.
Yes. So it's like assuming Uhuru's son was to come back into politics today. You know, he doesn't come the same way Uhuru, when he got into politics, he didn't come as Uhuru. He came as Jomo's son. So now Matiang'i...
And Moi's protege.
Yes, and Moi's protege, and Kibaki's godson. So he had a lot of those things working for him, and that gave him a jump start over a lot of older, more established politicians. Matiang'i is coming with the same momentum. That Matiang'i, who has never run for office, I was watching Matiang'i, and he's even struggling to talk like a politician. He talks about sub-counties rather than constituencies. So he says, I went to, I'm like, boss. that is now an interior conversation you're having, It's talking about locations rather than words. So you can see he's still struggling to internalize the political conversation within himself. But he's already a scaring factor. Why is he a factor? Why would Matiang'i really be a factor in our national politics at this moment in time? It's Uhuru. The only reason Matiang'i is such a powerhouse right now is Uhuru. He was Uhuru's right-hand person. He was Uhuru's prime cabinet. He was Uhuru's Mr. Fix-It. So if Matiang'i is coming back, there's that feeling. And the reason why there was a lot of resistance to Matiang'i coming to Jubilee was because that was going to make the connection complete. Had Matiang'i come back into politics and gone to Kisii, and gotten a Kisii party as he was being advised by Gachagua, there would have been a disconnect between Uhuru and Matiang'i. Now it would have looked like Matiang'i is just building his own political career independently of anybody else. Kazi ya Uhuru liisha, sasa najipanga kazi yangu. The minute he comes to Uhuru's party, then he's still on assignment. He's still Mr. Fix-It. He's still fixing stuff for Uhuru. So this is not Matiang'i we're dealing with.
It's Uhuru.
This is Uhuru we're dealing with, coming through Matiang'i. And Matiang'i doesn't even run away from it so much. When you try and pin him down, says, are you a project of Matiang'i, of Uhuru? Matiang'i will usually answer by some roundabout way and say, the reason you guys know me is because I worked for Uhuru.
I worked for Uhuru.
So really, why would I want to run away from an association with Uhuru? So even he also understands. And that's why he was able to move away from the pressure of going into a small party and join a party that, yes, everybody thinks is a lot of work. It's a former ruling party. The history of former ruling parties is not very good. So you could see the argument of, no, go and start your own and come. He decided, no, let me go and do the heavy lifting in this one. Why? Because I have someone.
I have the backing of the leader of the party.
The leader of the
so
party.
So Matiang'i is Uhuru's project?
Not Uhuru's project. He's a person who's worked with Uhuru. It's like telling me I'm Uhuru's project.
I mean, even Gachagua has worked for and with
But
Uhuru.
he may cut his ties.
Has worked with Uhuru.
Cut his ties.
Is Matiang'i Uhuru's
Matiang'i hasn't cut his ties. Matiang'i hasn't cut ties. And you see...
By the way, he's being propped up.
He's not being propped up.
By Uhuru.
He's not
sitting
being propped
next
up.
to Uhuru. I mean, Matiang'i is nobody in the leadership of Jubilee, but in the NDC, he's seated next to the party leader of Jubilee.
Yes.
And in fact, he even moves the Secretary General of the Jubilee to the next position.
Yes.
That means that it's the same thing that we used to see with Moi and Uhuru. Moi would bring Uhuru to come sit next to him.
Yes.
And even Saitoti would now be Ukofa, a bit far. It's the same thing we're seeing. We called Uhuru Moi's project.
Yes.
We are seeing Matiang'i seated next to Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yes.
So we can also call Matiang'i Uhuru's project.
But you can't call him Uhuru's project because Uhuru was Moi's project because Moi was in power and he was leaving. Uhuru has already left.
And he wanted to hand over.
But he's already left.
Uhuru has already left.
Yes.
But even he is speaking, he wants to hand over the party to a new, vibrant leadership.
Exactly. And Matiang'i is part of the people he would prefer to do that.
Leadership.
Why? Because Matiang'i has worked with him for 10 years.
So you're saying AKA the project?
No, it's not a project. And actually, I don't. Let me not even argue that point. Let me not argue that point.
Wambugu
Let me not argue that point. Let me not argue that point too much because part of the problem about being called a project is a negative connotation of it.
Yes.
Right. But you see, that's not necessarily a bad thing. If today some website is saying Ngunjiri is Uhuru's project, I don't think I would complain too much about it because what does it mean? It means I have a mentor to turn to. I have somebody who's done this for like 20, 30 years. I can go and ask. So the only reason it becomes a project is when it's used to attack you. And when it's your enemies saying it. But when it's your friends, when you project Uhuru. When it's your friends saying it, it is okay. When it's your enemies saying it, they're trying to make you look like you're not your own person. You're not thinking for yourself.
Yeah.
You're
You
not
don't have a
independent.
backbone.
You don't have a
You
backbone.
feet,
But then
so on.
also, Uhuru has also been very categorical. He was a project of many people, right? He was Moi's project. He was Kibaki's project. There's no way Uhuru would have become president in 2013 if Kibaki hadn't supported him. There's no way he would have gone into national limelight if Moi hadn't supported him. So he keeps saying, I have stood on the shoulders of other people. So even me, I want to give my shoulders to somebody else to stand on. So he's giving his shoulders to Matiang'i to stand on, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
No,
you
it's
know,
not.
a lot of us would want to be standing on those
in that
shoulders.
position.
So now we are waiting for Matiang'i to give us his.
Okay.
Actually, it's a
he's done.
responsibility of a good leader to ensure succession.
To pass the baton.
Yes.
I
pass
just
the
think
baton.
I think
And he
people,
was accused
And to
of not doing
communicate.
it.
Yeah.
He was
And to
accused of not
communicate.
doing it.
That's exactly why he was. One of the
Yes.
things that he was being accused of.
Yes.
No succession.
Not appearing to have a succession plan, not appearing to have anyone willing and ready to pass the baton to. But well, with this, you can say that this is exactly what.
But think about it. He actually did have a succession plan. He had a transition proposal. It's only that he didn't have it within Mount Kenya, which is where people expected him to have it. He expected him to, which Kikuyu
Are you handing over to?
are you handing over to? Uhuru wasn't thinking like that. Uhuru was thinking, I'm handing over the nation to the person I think best suited to run it. The fact that it's not a Kikuyu doesn't mean I'm not doing transition planning. Same thing he's doing now. He's not handing over the party to a Kikuyu. But you still have people saying he's not doing good transition planning because you're like, where is a Kikuyu? Where are you giving this party to a Kisii?
so it disrupts bloc politics. So it doesn't.
It does.
So
For
doesn't
him,
put a dent. Yeah.
He's always wanted to disrupt. You remember some funeral he went for? Was it something to do with Musali? And he said, it could help if this country had another president outside the Kalenjin and Kikuyu. Because also, we need to break that thing.
Yep.
So that we stop. Because you see, the fact that Uhuru was president doesn't change many things for many Kikuyus. We just keep saying, we are president. We are not president. It is Uhuru who is president. Your problems are just the same as when Ruto is president, when Kibaki was president. They don't change.
The perception is that it will change things for us. And I know in the next hour we'll talk about how even this new wave of activism is properly disrupting that factor.
Oh, yes.
And breaking it apart.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
I need to, I think people also confuse project with puppet.
Yes.
That's where the negative connotation comes.
Actually,
in.
it's used. It's only that they don't want to say puppet.
They don't want to say puppet, but they actually
That's what
mean
they say.
it.
That's what they mean.
Yeah.